welcome to a more detailed functional session explanation. Before we get into the session structure and the setup, again, I wanted to talk about the importance of the functional formula throughout our programming. Now, our functional sessions are designed to work on strength and technique. This is the session where we need to slow it down. We need to focus on progression for our members, and we keep them safe by teaching form and technique. We do this through slowing the workout down and focusing on some key important movements through any strength-based program. The key movements we'll always focus on are our deadlift, our back squat, our bench press, and our shoulder press. To do this, we need to make sure that we're grouping people correctly, we're focusing on form, technique, and education, and our room setup is on point. So now we have our understanding for how a FitStop functional session needs to flow. Let me walk you through it. So here we have a functional workout completely set up. Now, a couple of key points with our setup during our functional session is that, as always, our station number 1 is at the back under the logo at the mirrors. With a functional session, we also rotate anti-clockwise around the room. So number 1 is at the back. Number 2 is to the side rig. Number 3 is at the front on the turf. And number 4 is on the opposite rig. Now, it's so important that we flow this way around the room because that is how our program is set. You'll notice that at station number 2, there is rings hanging on the rig, and station number 4, there is ropes. So always need to rotate anti-clockwise. Come with me down the back to go through station number 1. So again, we are utilizing our place cards. Firstly, making sure that we have the station number at the top, so station number 1, followed by the 3 exercises. Now, every single station within a functional setup always caters for 3 groups of 3 people. It is so important we stick to this formula because it is what creates the community through the room and gives the support we need through a functional session. So, station number 1, we have reps, then exercise written, and the 3 exercises all the way down. We have 10 dumbbell Arnold press. So again, we always go over to our dumbbells, we face the room, we start the explanation, we talk through it, we make sure we take our time through the explanation of all the exercises during a functional session, then we move on to the next one. You'll notice that at every station, through a functional setup, it has one exercise that is more complex. We always go into more detail with that exercise and then flow through the next 2 a little faster. Example, dumbbell Arnold press, a little bit more complex. Kettlebell high pull, a little bit more simple. So we just have to go through 1 rep talking about the key importance of that exercise, then followed by the band pull apart. So again, showing 1 rep and talking about the key points of that exercise. If we look at the total setup, again, we've given our members enough room. We've got the exercises and weights laid out nice and evenly, and it always flows from lightest to heaviest. Now, station number 2 and station number 4 is what sets apart FitStop from the rest. This is what we pride ourselves on. The ability to, in a group environment, support each other to work through compound exercises that we're able to spot and look for progression in a safe method. Right now on station number 2, we have programmed out heavy back squats, supersetted with a wall sit. 2 very simple exercises that we get to slow things down and support each other on to make sure that we're aiming for that progression. So as you see, the reps are 8, 6, 4, 4, 4, supersetted with a wall sit. As we discussed before, we always work in teams of 3. So this means there is 1 team member that will be spotting on this station. The flow will be that 1 person is doing the back squat, 1 person is spotting, and 1 person is doing the wall sit. Whoever is doing the wall sit will move on to the back squatter will move on to the spotting, and the spotter will move on to the walk sit. And we'll do that for a complete 8 minutes, making sure we support each other and aim for that progression. It is so important to talk about that when we're doing our explanation so we keep the flow. it is also very important to go through the key movement. In this case, it is the back squat in detail, focusing on not just the squat, but also what the spotter will be doing. Lastly, you'll notice that we have all of our weights laid out. This makes it so easy for a member or a trainer to help with progression. Adding the weight to the bar, nice and easily. Now I know that the plate weights can be stored right behind and it's not too far away, but for convenience for not only us as trainers, but also the members, it is so much easier to have them laid out. As again, we lay them out lightest to heaviest, so it's really simple for our members. Okay, so now as we go around the room, again, 2 moves to station number 3. Station number 3 is quite similar to station number 1, where we're not doing heavy compound movements. We usually focus on core and body weight movements in this area as well. Moving through to station number 4, our final station, where again, we get to go heavier, we get to support our team, and it is very similar to station number 2. That is how a functional session should always be set up. That is how a functional session should always be run. So now we've been through the complete flow, I really want to emphasize the importance of working in teams of 3. Now in those teams of 3, it is so important that our members group up with people that are similar strengths and even similar heights to make sure that that transition between adding weights and changing the bar is as smooth as possible. Now throughout the functional session workouts, we always need to be reminding our members to work on form and technique, what that looks like, offering small cues, and almost considering this session to be a personal training session, where we're not only offering support to the room, but also on an individual basis where we're seeing people that need help with form and technique tweaks. Now, again, guys, it is so important to slow the room down to make sure that people are focusing on their low reps and to be supporting each other to keep everyone safe.